All right, Scorpio, welcome to your monthly horoscope for May of 2015. My name is Athen. Let's go ahead and look at your chart for this month. So right off the bat, on the 3rd, we have a full moon, and it is in your 12th house. So this whole lunar cycle coming into this month has been about work, daily activities, your health, your diet, anything relating to your growth or self-improvement, basically. And so that new moon is now coming to a culmination point here on the 3rd in that 12th house. So this is where we realize that through our health and through whatever it is we're taking care of, hopefully if we've been doing that, this is where we have the free time. This is where we have the time to withdraw and retreat and look at life in a very deep spiritual level and just relax and enjoy some relaxation and tranquility. And so that's what I really recommend for you guys here around the 3rd, is just have that tranquility, enjoy that, tap into your intuition, all those things relating to the 12th, get some rest. And that'll be, a highlight in terms of whatever it is you've been working on in the 6th house. And it's a balance, you want to balance this stuff that you are working on and your health and all this with the time out and the alone time and things like that. But you should have both. So just find that middle ground, but it can be very nice for those 12th house matters, especially if you've been putting in a lot of work here at the 6th house. So that's a culmination. This is also a culmination over the past 6 months relating to spiritual things and tranquility. So if over the past 6 months you've been working in this area, maybe through spiritual things, or realizing the importance of rest and tranquility and presence and flow and trusting the whole divine process, things like this. This can be a culmination over the past 6 months as well, or anything you've been working on scenes also. So that full moon in the 12th, very nice. There right on the 3rd. So let's go ahead and look at the next major aspect here, a major event. On the 6th, we have Venus going into your 8th house, where she was transiting your 7th before. So whereas before, I think there was a lot of opportunity here for you to enjoy relationships and one-on-one connections. Now you have the opportunity to enjoy the deeper elements of life, what life is really about. The 8th house is the transparency, it's the truth. It's where we can be vulnerable and see who we are, personally first, vulnerable with ourselves, and then naturally vulnerable with others. And so with Venus here, it is very much about others because she does rule both relationships and your 7th house. But this is, in either case, just doing that. I think you'll enjoy it, and it can go very nice for relationships too as well. Now, the 7th house is what's going to be really highlighted for you this month, actually. We're going to have Mercury going retrograde. We have your ruler, which is the next aspect, next event here on the 10th, going into your 7th house. So around the 10th, I think you're going to notice this shift. I think you guys have already been thinking about relationships or one-on-one connections. Your mind has been there. Mercury's been there. Maybe you've been communicating through your relationships. And so now with Mars going into the 7th, your ruler, there's a lot of drive. There's a lot of ambition. There's a lot of a focus even more, like in terms of what you're doing and how those relationships are unfolding, whether it's one relationship or just relationships in general in your life, or partnerships or one-on-one connections, anything 7th house. And so that shift here on the 10th, I think you guys are really going to feel. So for the 2/3 of the month, the last 2/3, with your ruler here and then the sun shifting in there, all this activity, you're going to notice more and more things becoming more about relationships. So take action, take initiative, take charge in that area with Mars in that 7th house. And yeah, so that's going to be a highlight there. Then on the 17th, we have that new moon, and that new moon is happening right on the cusp between your 6th house and your 7th house. So sometimes we do have 2 new moons or full moons in the same house, so you're having both in your 6th house, but that is happening very close to your 7th house cusp. So again, more new beginnings relating to your health, your routine, your self-improvement, but in a different way, and I think it's having more to do with relationships. It's a mix. So it's not just the 6th, it's the 6th and the 7th. And this is also a new moon in your 7th house. So maybe something new taking place in the relationship sector for you. But it's also relating to your self-improvement, you see. So maybe a lot of this relating to what you've been working on last month and this month in that 6th house with maybe health or diet or whatever it is, or your work, your crafts. Helping others too is also 6th house. But yeah, this 7th house, very, very active. And then on the 17th, reflect on that. Reflect on these 2 areas of your chart, because this is what we want to do during the new moon, is just reflect and think about it. And then as the lunar cycle starts to fill up, we'll gain more and more awareness as to what this cycle is about for us personally. And there's more and more action available. It's not the time to just get up and go just yet. It's a time of reflecting and thinking about where you want to go in these 2 areas for the next 2 weeks and the next 6 months. Okay. So that's going to be the new moon. And then on the 18th and 19th, we have Mercury going retrograde in that 7th house. So there's something that's being reworked here in relationships, you know, or you're reflecting on, or you're thinking about. And so with Mercury retrograde, it's always a time of applying it, working with it, thinking about it, rehashing it. We want to take action here, especially because Mercury is going to go over Mars a little bit later. It's very action oriented, but Mercury retrogrades is about learning. And so we only learn by actually doing. And that's Mercury learning through experience. So it's very important we take the experience. So and just get involved. I mean, if it's one particular relationship, then, you know, get involved. But get involved with all relationships, friends, family, you know, spouse, all one-on-one connections. And you'll be learning the most from this transit. And like I said, this is all shaping up to some new beginnings relating to it as well. And while this is all happening, you know, Venus is in the 8th. So I think you're wanting to get, you know, vulnerable. You're wanting to have those deep connections. You're wanting to form those deep bonds, those healthy bonds in life, you know, and in relationships, but in general. Now that's the Mercury retrograde. Then on the 20th, we've got the Sun then going into the 7th. This is a much better placement for the Sun, by the way. The 6th house, not really good for the Sun or Mars. So, I mean, things are definitely coming into a much more better. I mean, it's mixed for you because the Sun's exalted in Aries, who rules your 6th house. But the Sun way rather prefers to be on the 7th, in the 7th house. So things are rising up, and it's coming from, again, all that more, you know, growth and you know, maybe even you know, challenging growth. It can be sometimes. It can go either way. But my point here is that with the Sun going into the 7th, it starts to come up to the top of the chart where it likes to be. And so it likes to be in the placement where it starts to come back up. So in the 7th house, again, with the Sun here, it can be romantic. It can be creative. It can be expressing yourself through relationships. And that's, you know, that's what it's all about. Have fun, express yourself, bring in that playfulness in relationships from the 20th onward in particular, and for the next 30 days from the 20th onward. And yeah, it can be a very passionate time, very enjoyable time as well. On the 27th, there's a couple aspects I want to show you. On the 27th, Mercury conjuncts up to Mars, and the last time this happened was in your 6th house. So the 6th house was about the self-improvement and growth, so now it's happening in your relationship sector. So again, I think you're learning about what motivates you about relationships. You know, what it is you really want in relationships, maybe how to assert yourself and step up, you know, for yourself with mutual respect in your relationships, things like this. Anything that's about, you know, asserting yourself or taking action. If there's some actions that you've been wanting to take with 7th house. I mean, the thing is it's learning. So I think on the 27th, it could be some action where you could learn quite a bit about that. Then on the 30th, Mercury conjuncts up to the Sun. He's going to be in front of the Sun because he's in a retrograde motion. So this is learning more, again, about passion, how to have fun, how to be playful, how to enjoy yourself in relationships. So Scorpio, the strong emphasis is on your 7th house, but yeah, it's very much in your 7th house. I think I said your ruler a second ago. I think I said Venus, your ruler. Venus isn't your ruler. Mars is your ruler. Although you're going to be enjoying the deeper elements of life here, your ruler is in the 7th. You have the new moon in the 7th. All these fast-moving planets are in the 7th, so very, very much about relationships for you in particular. So active, you know, work on them, take that initiation, that drive, learn, you know, share. Mercury in the 7th house loves to share ideas, but in that deep way, because I think you'll enjoy that very much. So if you guys have any questions, please let me do check out the weeklies because they're more specific. This is very general. The weeklies will show the aspects week by week in terms of what's taking place. this month. If you'd like a personal reading, do get in touch. This was, very general, and for personal readings, I look at your specific planets and how these planets are aspecting those. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. If you're new to Sidereal, do check the link down below, because this is very different from Western astrology. All right, take care, and I'll see you all next time.